Hey, welcome back. You are chilling with the Convene with the Strategy team. My name is Tameshia.
And I am Christi Farmer.
And hey,
Hey,
we're still here.
We are here.
We are still here and still excited. We've been getting a lot of feedback from you guys. Thank you so much for all of the likes, the comments, the shares, the calls, the texts, just the encouragement to keep us going. We are feeling the impact already.
Yes, for sure.
And like I said, it's dynamite. It's the dynamite feeling. We both started this channel, this service. We started putting out this content to help those people who were already coming to us. Mm-hmm. And so we just wanted to put it out there to be able to help more of those people, right?
Yep. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, and then we will definitely put it. We have an event coming up too, so we'll put that link in the bottom because it's mid-year, and we definitely understand that business owners need to carve out some time right now to reevaluate what they've done, where they're going, and then who they're talking to.
Right. Which is all about what we're talking about today.
Yes, for sure.
Who are they talking to? And so when we were having a conversation and, you know, for the last few episodes, we've been talking about going to market and marketing and all the things. But you can market and you can have a marketing strategy, but without knowing who you are talking to, your message is going nowhere, literally.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And so I was telling you that, you know, when we first started Car Hops, were blessed to start at a time where we had no competition.
Which is genius.
Let me tell you, if you can get into business, if you can go into a business and you can find a location and a niche to where you have no competition, that is literally the lane that you want to be in, right? Now, you may not be in that lane long.
Well, that's true.
Because we were not. So a year into us starting Car Hops, here comes the competition. And not here comes just like little Joe Schmo who saw what we were doing was a genius idea. Here comes the biggest brand out there.
Right.
That are like, wait a minute, we hearing about what's going on. We're seeing, you know, some of our national restaurant partners using your service. It must be something there, right? Because before that, they had no idea where this little town in middle Georgia was, right? So fast forward a year later after us starting, here come the national brand. And when they came in, of course, you know, being there by ourselves for a year, we were wearing the biggest britches.
Right.
Baby, we were the big dogs, okay? We were like, wait a minute, these people are not going to come into our town and take over.
Right.
But little did we know, people knew of this brand way more than they
had brand recognition.
Right. The brand recognition, they knew of them. Even though they couldn't use them before, you know, they came in, they knew about them already. So we had to then determine how we were going to set ourselves apart.
Right.
At first, we were like, you know what? We'll just say use local owned. If you're local, support your local brand.
Right.
But if you remember, like when Walmart started popping up all over everywhere, a lot of the mom and pop shops were closing down.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And so people at that point, we actually should have known that people didn't really care about supporting local. They cared about supporting or getting the biggest and the best for maybe the lowest price or just because it's a national brand and they want to, you know, be able to tout that they use such and such brand. So today we're going to talk about how to kind of go in and find your target market because, you know, with us, we had to determine what we were going to do to set ourselves apart and then who was going to be our customer. And at that point, we had to realize that, okay, we are not going to be the cheapest. We are not going to, of course, just be the well-known right off the bat, but we are going to provide superior service, right? And who wants superior service? So we're in the food delivery industry. Who are we talking to? Who are the people that, again, you know, would expect or want our service based off of what we had to give?
So this sounds like, so I do a book club, the Tuesday tea, where I'm spilling the tea, and it's based on a book. So the book that we're currently doing right now is called Getting Naked. So for everybody who Googles that book, put in Getting Naked. the business fable, because if you just put in getting naked, you're going to get a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
So it's a business fable, and it's literally explaining or talking about what you explained of being the smaller company. And in that book, a larger company buys the smaller company. And when they buy the smaller company, they realize that the smaller company was able to get their customers to pay more for their product. And they're like, how? How is this smaller company getting customers to pay more for their product? And what they talk about, the getting naked part, is being transparent, being open with your process, not having a one size fits all, which sounds like what you're talking about with you guys needing to create your avatar.
Yes.
And so not having, because that's what a big brand will do. A big brand like a Walmart has a one size fit all. They're not accommodating to a specific group of people. It's a one-stop shop. And the big brand you're talking about probably has the same thing. Like just like, this is what we offer, hate it or love it. Like, we're not really dialing down to a specific person or specific avatar in that case. And so it sounds like that's what you did. And when I talk about Avatar, when I think of Avatar, I think of the movie where it's like a green alien with pointy ears. But it really does go to that same concept, is that who your customer is an alien, specific person for you. And so instead of going to the market for everybody, you're going to the market for a specific person. And like, so an avatar, you might give your avatar a specific name. So your avatar might be Susie. How old is Susie? What does Susie want? What can we provide Susie that she won't get somewhere else? And why does she want this? What keeps her up at night? What's her problem? How are we providing a solution? So like, Christi, if I'm your avatar, Publix is looking for me. The Publix grocery store, right? And Kroger is not looking for me. So what is Publix providing Christi, the avatar, that's going to make me go to them as opposed to going to Food Lion or Wayfield? I'm in Georgia, so these are stores that we have here.
But to the point though, and not only what's gonna make you pass Kroger, past Wayfield, past all these places to get to the Publix. Because I'm sure you pass other grocery stores. It's not the closest, I'm sure.
It's not. Like, and we, so it depends on where I am in my city. So we literally have 2 Publix from my house and next to Target. But they're even placed, whereas the people who are going to go to Target are also the same kind of people who are going to go to Publix. Whereas Kroger is not close to Target.
They're going to Walmart.
They're going to Walmart, right? So they probably will be closer to a Walmart. When I think about the city I'm in too, Kroger is placed closer to the Walmart, and Publix is next to the Target. So we just recently went to a vending event, a big
it was a women in business
trade show, right? And so even when they were picking their location, they would pick their location, because I do this when I pick vendor spots. I'm looking at, well, my customer, my avatar, which is going to be a woman between a certain ages who has kids, right? So this is a woman between a certain age who has kids. I probably need to be set up near where some of the kid things, so they're going to go in and buy things for their children. So I need to be set up near that. I don't need to be set up near where the Beats headphones are at, because my avatar isn't going to buy Beats headphones. The I can't even think what generation it is, but my daughters who are 16-year-olds, whatever generation they're in, XYZ, they're gonna need to be near the Beats. Like, if you're selling clothes that generation wants, or accessories that generation wants, you're not gonna want to be near the nip and tuck section, because the people who are getting nip and tucks are usually 35. They've had a kid already. They can afford the nip and tuck, and so the Beats don't need to be next to that, right? So it's all about knowing your avatar and who you're going to talk to.
To the point, though.
With your company, how'd you guys do that?
Because, well, I'm just going to kind of piggyback off of something that you were talking about the trade show and how to pick your booth, because this is just, I think everybody needs to know this. Right. Because typically when the salesperson, like when you go onto the website of whatever the trade show is and you are finding what location, your mind is going to tell you, let me go where the cheaper booths are. So if a booth is $500, that's probably because they're going to be in the very back, the corners, the least desirable places, right? But you need to pick up the phone and call the salesperson to say, hey, this is my company. This is what I do. Looking at, just in case they haven't put out who's going to be where, they can tell you though. So you can, call them and say, at this moment in time, this is what I do. Where should I be placed based on the other vendors that are going to be in the same same area. So, if I have a hair care line, I'm not necessarily going to want to be near a national brand hair care line. I mean, come on. One, they're going to have a bigger budget, so their booths are going to look amazing.
Right.
And then two, you just want to be able to pull your customer in and have their attention without them looking over, because the national hair care line has a DJ at their booth and, all these giveaways.
Which could be a problem if you need to talk to your customer. You don't want to be next to the DJ booth.
Right. And I've seen it happen even yesterday, though, because, a lot of the booths will have their own music and, things going on. And you're right. The attentions of the other, customers are over there versus at your booth. So I just wanted to kind of give that as a tip, is that just, not just pick your booth on your own, call the salesperson, get to know them, and then strategically place yourself where your avatar, your customer, is going to be.
All right. So when it comes to building out your avatar, what are some things that you looked at? Like, if you were to go through like your list, what are some things that you thought about, or someone who's listening to this should be thinking about when they're building their avatar?
Well, the first thing I think about is how many avatars do you need, right? Because in our industry, there are 3. We have 3 different people who are going to order from us. So we have we already know that this is a microwave culture. And actually, I say this all the time. I think like by 2030, 2040, we probably won't even have kitchens in the homes, because these kids, they don't care to cook. Okay. And so, we have our younger audience that are looking for the convenience or the fact that they don't know how to cook, or they don't care to cook. They just want, something delivered to their door. Right. But then we also have another avatar that is more of the homemaker, more of the mom who have kids that are in different activities, and a husband that works during the day, and so she needs the convenience of being able to feed her family, but do it a few days a week where she doesn't necessarily have to be the one to cook the food, right? And then our third group that we target are senior citizens, because they necessarily, you get to be in your 70s and 80s, you don't want to be over the kitchen, the stove cooking either. You may not have the family that's taking care of you. So, we do 2 things for them. We're going to grocery shop for them. So we have to target and make sure that they know we have that service. And then we're also going to be able to provide that the meals to their door as well. So we have 3 different target audiences and avatars. And I suggest that, people who, whatever industry you're in, make sure that when you hear create your customer target or your avatar, don't always think that it's just one.
Right.
And it may be one for your business, but, again, that's for you to determine.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that point up, because that definitely makes me think about my business and the avatars I have. My end goal, because of what I like to do, that naturally comes to me, that I've done the DISC test, I've done the Myers-Briggs test, I've done the Clifton Strengths test, like they all ringing true on the same thing.
Right.
I like to coach. Or rather, I like to educate. I like to teach. I like to tell people what to do.
Right.
So the coaching part has levels. Like you tell and then you walk them through. I'm more of the just tell you, go do it. The strategist. That's why I'm a strategist. And so when I bring people into, the first avatar is a person who wants to buy my product. And then the next avatar is I take from a purchaser of my product to a person who wants to make their own money from the product that we have.
Okay.
And then, so those are 2 avatars that I would build. Like, who am I going to market to? And that makes my social media post. So it goes as like, what are their hobbies? So when I'm making a social media post and I'm like, what do I need to post? Well, I know a lot of people have that, like, what do I post today? And then you might go steal a meme from somebody else, but that meme may not be for your target audience. And so anytime I get caught up in like, what do I need to post today? Or what am I going to post today? Or how am I going to get engagement? I'm going to go to my avatar page and I'm going to look at what are their hobbies. Like the person who's going to buy my product, what do they do for fun? And when I post that, like if they're a woman who is, you put a name on her. So her name might be Keisha. And if Keisha is a working professional who buys my product, what does she do for fun? She's probably at home watching the new show, Queen. It's about
Queen Charlotte.
Queen Charlotte.
Okay.
she's probably at home watching Queen Charlotte. All right. She's a professional. She wears my product, which happens to be jewelry. And she's probably watching. So when I make a post and I'm looking for engagement, might not even watch. I don't have time to watch Queen Charlotte. But you know what I'm going to go do? I'm going to get a snippet, or I might even put in Facebook Queen Charlotte and see what people are saying about Queen Charlotte. And if they're like, girl, I can't believe Queen Charlotte did such and such, then I'm going to post, did y'all see what Queen Charlotte did? What was your takeaway? Now, I haven't even seen the episode. I don't even know what Queen Charlotte did. They're going to tell me in their comments. And that's what my post will be about, because I'm not looking for Monica who doesn't watch Queen Charlotte, who doesn't wear my product. I'm not doing that. I'm specifically looking for who watches it. And when she comments and say, I watched that, then I might say to her, like, did you also see that necklace she had on? And she gonna respond like, that did catch my eye. Of course it did. Because you're my target avatar, right? And so that's easier for me to go in a conversation about it. And so that's the difference of just posting anything and you're not getting a response. That also takes you away from being frustrated with the people that attracting the wrong people, right? Because you'll do that.
Yes, like literally. So even with us, I know that if we dropped our prices or put out this like awesome coupon that our competitors will do, if we use the same market tactics as our competitor, we're going to get those same kind of people. But we're also going to get those same kind of problems. We're going to get my delivery arrived 3 minutes late and I need $10 off. What are you going to do? I didn't get my hot sauce. What are you going to do about it? Like, we're going to get all of those headaches. Because one thing, and I hate this, when somebody says, I spent my last to get this, I'm like, well, baby, sweetie, that you should have went to the grocery store. Because we don't need the customer who's going to spend their last. That's not who we're looking for. Okay, we actually rather you save your money and go do something else with it. So yeah, to the point, creating your customer avatar will not only attract your customer, like your dynamic, your awesome customer, but it's going to repel. And I want to repel. You know, when we put out advertisements and marketing pieces of these gorgeous kitchens and these, you know, and we're talking about keeping we help you keep your kitchen clean. I want you, if you have this kitchen that the dishes haven't been washed in 3 weeks and you got, you know,
it's not going to resonate with you.
And it's going to repel. You're going to be like, oh my God, look at that kid. So we want to repel you. You know what I'm saying? So
or the problem that's being solved. You're thinking about the problem being solved. And if the problem you're putting out there is you're broke and you need something to eat, then you're going to attract that kind of person who is broke and is just looking for a hot dog, as opposed to somebody who is not broke and is looking for this would even go to like your sales team, right? So your sales team is going to go out there and probably look for companies that have vegan options or companies that have not the buy two get one free meals, because that's not what your avatar is looking for. Your avatar is not looking for where they can feed their 3 kids and husband with a 20-piece chicken meal. That's not your avatar. Right? So you're even when you go to sales and pick up a new company to bring on that you provided your service to, you're going to be looking for the ones who do homemade meals, who pride themselves on having food that is non-GMO, they're not pick, you know, those kind of things, or have kosher options, or because that's what your avatar is looking for. Where you will get, I see this all the time with businesses who get frustrated and get burnt out because they're trying to get just $1. And it's not about any dollar. You want to attract your dollar. Like the person who is your avatar, whose problem you're solving. Like you honestly would want to attract me. Like I'm not going to, so you didn't put hot sauce in there? I'm not going to, I got hot sauce at the house.
I have my brand of hot sauce.
I literally just asked for hot sauce because I am paying $20 for this one meal. So I figure you should throw in hot sauce too, if you have it. But if you don't show up with it, I'm okay with that because my chicken is how I want it. It came on time. It was warm. The person who delivered it to me, right? Because you're probably even specific about who you're going to hire. Yes, you're not gonna get the picture. I saw somebody post this, right? I saw somebody post a picture where they posted the deliverer said that they delivered their picture and the picture for Forrest. And they never delivered their food. They actually kept the food for themselves.
Oh, yeah, we hear that all the time. We hear that all the time.
But it's not your company.
It's my company.
Because when you set out to create your avatar, you thought about the services that you're going to provide to this certain group of people between a certain age range who make a certain amount of money, who drive a certain car, right? So your ideal avatar probably isn't driving old Chevy. They're probably driving an Audi.
Right. And I'm telling you, all of those details matter. I mean, okay, so this is the other thing to it. So if you've already been in business, you really can do some research through your current customers, right? So it's when you're starting a new business is when it's a little harder, and you're going to like kind of always be moving the needle until you get it right. But if you already have a business, do a few things. Reach out to your current customers and give them a questionnaire. Send them a survey and say, hey, look, I am trying to find more people who are like you, right? And I need to know, where do you work? How much do you make? And again, this could be anonymous, but at least.
And also multiple choice. Like, are you in between the age range of this and this?
Right.
Are your annual home income, is it between this and this? Your level of degree or level of school, graduated high school, GED,
right.
4-year bachelor's degree or beyond, right. Which is, when you think about it, that's why we as customers have gotten these questions.
Well,
I know for sure I fill these forms out.
Y'all are watching us on YouTube right now. Okay, I know when I watch things on YouTube, it'll be a little questionnaire that'll pop up and it'll say, out of these 4 things, which store would you most likely visit? And it'll have, all these different choices. And most likely, because it's just one question, I'll just hit the one that and all they're doing is trying to give you more of the content that they know that you're going to look for.
Exactly.
So if you say that you shop at Target or you shop at Neiman Marcus or wherever, they're going to send you more of that content that that you're looking for. So you're being being surveyed all the time. Like if you kind of think about, even some of the emails that you get and the things that people ask you, you're being surveyed all the time. You just need to turn around and start doing that to your customers. Now, again, so when you're going into a new business or when you're starting a new business, then that is when we must go through and kind of create an avatar of who our service or product is going to help, but then you're still going to have to adjust it because you're not going to get it right on the first time. Yeah. I mean, I just don't think you're going to get it right on the first time.
Well, think about what I would do as a beginning business owner who's like, I don't know who my perfect is. Think about when you're serving somebody in your business, what customer puts a smile on your face? Like whether you're providing them a product or whether you're providing them a service, like when they send you a message and says, thank you, I love the way the product was packaged. Who is that person?
Right.
That put a smile on your face because that kind of person appreciated your packaging. That kind of person took the time to follow up and tell you that. Who is that? What's her name? Go to her social media. What does she do for a living? What is she posting about? Does she have kids? Does she have a dog? What is she driving? Like, go through her pictures. Explore her. 5 of them people. Like, when I think about who I enjoy working with as far as a business partner in my business, I literally go back and look at those top people. What is their personality? And one thing I found also is because we typically want to pick people like ourselves,
right.
But the people who are like ourselves aren't looking for us. They're looking for other people. Like, I'm an organized strategist type person. I don't need to sit and listen to strategist people all the time. I need to listen to people who aren't like me and get things like when I look at my results from my test again, I look at my weak areas, right?
Yes.
I need to attract people who those are their strengths. And so I look at that as for my avatar, right? People who are typically attracted to my Tuesday tea aren't people who
have already got it together.
Well, they're attracted to information I'm giving because they don't have it. I'm giving information I already got.
Right.
So people who are coming to my Tuesday tea aren't looking for strategy, or how can I explain this? They are looking for strategy tips because they don't already have that information, right? And so my avatar isn't looking for me because I already got it.
Right.
Why would I need to listen to me when I already got it?
Yeah. So it's the older versions of yourself,
right?
That you can help. So
I think that's to look at too when you're first starting is think of who you're enjoying working to and find more people like that.
Right.
Who is the customer that's not complaining? Well, I know one of the things you were saying was like who is not your avatar? The person who makes you roll your eyes and be like, I don't want to work with this kind of person ever again. Who is that? Who is that person you won't ever work with again? Who is giving you
everything in your power to repel them?
I had a customer who spent $9.43. That was the cost of the product plus the shipping plus the tax.
Right.
When I say she gave me the blues in my DM, even though she purchased from my site. And so I'm an employee of my business. So when you purchase through the business, through the website, you're not purchasing from Christi. You're purchasing the company, through the company, through Cuter Than Most. She messaged Christi. Well, you didn't purchase from Christi. You purchased from the company. So you should be messaging the company. So I don't have to respond to this. So she eventually went through the route of following up through the email, through the company. So the company responded to her. I happened to be working those hours, so the company was me. That's literally how she did there. You literally have to try to keep the two different, because otherwise people will be messaging you on Mother's Day. I was talking to a photographer who did my headshots, and she was saying she got messaged on Mother's Day, and she was like, I don't work on Sunday on Mother's Day. But you have to draw the line, because people won't. You know that you are the respond. If you purchase through the company, you respond to the company. You don't email Jeff Bezos. You email
the company.
You don't email Elon Musk. You email Amazon. And the email came from Amazon.
That's funny, because I do have a few customers who, because they know it's me, they will reach out to me directly through my DM, and I appreciate that they have gotten familiar and all that. But now to the point, I am going to have to start circling them back through and just politely say, hey,
here's the email. Can you email? I mean, I appreciate customer service at
right. Because it's funny. You said that, I'm thinking, oh Lord, yeah. I have one customer that she will DM me directly about something. Oh, I forgot to add something. I'm like, I mean, I appreciate that you know who I am and that you enjoy, and that you are. I mean, this lady orders from us all the time, so in my mind, it doesn't matter. But as I continue to grow, I need to kind of nip that and send them back through the proper channel. So
the reason is because as you grow, you won't be able to respond to that DM.
Right. And if I miss it, Lord.
And if you miss if you miss it, then they're throwing you, Tameshia, under the bus. When it's really, if they had just gone through, because as you grow, you'll have a virtual assistant who responds to that. When my emails, if they come through the business email, it's going to automatically send the email and say, we will respond to you within 48 hours, right? Well, I was out on a track meet with my daughter running the championship meet. And who knows when I'm gonna get this? You know what I mean? And I can't respond to it right now because it's unfair to you to start the conversation. I won't be able to end it. And so now, mind me, there are people who purchase from Christi.
Right.
And if you purchase from me, then I respond that way. But if the transaction is started through the business, then the transaction continues to go through the business.
And I love that.
But that's the thing is, that's an out. She really ruffled my feathers. she did. She really ruffled my
$9.43.
She screenshots our personal conversation to the company and says, I've already reached out to Christi in the DM. So you're like reporting me to the company.
Right.
For $9.43. Right? This isn't my ideal. This isn't my avatar. She's not my avatar, right? And so I had to ask myself, how did she become a customer? How did I attract her? How did I make her feel comfortable with going through these routes? And how do I not attract this? Now, of course, there's going to be people who, come in, but did I intentionally make an effort to reach out to make her my customer? And if I did, how do I keep that from happening going forward? And that's what I would tell people who are just starting, who don't know whoever is frustrating, whoever ruffles your feathers, first you go to yourself and say, is there a system I need to put in place? Right. Well, I had the system in place. So how did I attract someone who didn't feel like they needed to follow my systems that were in place? Because I had to think, like, this is the kind of customer that even though I had systems in place, will go to market and dog me. She out here coaching people and she don't even respond to messages. Right. You see what I mean? She says she know how to tell people this, but she didn't do this. And I had to say to myself, at the end, if she goes to market and throws me under the bus, do I have these things in place? I do. And what can I do to go for it? And I would look back, like I even went through social media, like, is she my avatar? What hobbies does she have? Does this fit and I would go back, because like I brought my avatar page, and I go back, I'm like, what hobbies does she have? Was I fulfilling her need? Right. Does she need to go to another part? Because she's a business owner too. So that's literally how I attracted her. I attracted her through the wrong forum though. She shouldn't have been a customer. She should have been on my side, on the business side of things. Because I can help her as a business owner. Because honestly, the way that she responded to me as a company, And the way she responded to me as a person, I'm sure reflects why her business is not growing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because if you
Absolutely.
act like that on the customer side, then you're either attracting customers like that, which is why your business is growing. Like there's a whole scheme of that. But that literally goes back to the avatar. Like it literally goes back to you're frustrated because of who you're attracting.
Right.
Who social media groups that they're in, following. Like, is your customer following the BET channel?